So I realized I have already made several videos on how to stop perpetuating a certain unwanted habit. And I explained that the way that we do that is through becoming conscious of the habit. The moment that we become conscious of the habit, it stops being a habit and it starts being a choice. If you'd like to learn more about that, there's a video up above. Now, in this video, I want to talk about how to start a certain habit, how to create it and how to maintain it, and the thinking mistake that most of us make. To get right into this, it's important that you start to ask yourself, why do you want to create a certain habit? Because most of us feel like, and this is probably your thinking mistake too, most of us think that we need external actions to create change. We think that we need to do things in order to change our reality. We think that we need to do more, to show the world more, to act on things. And that's why we feel like we want to create certain habits, because most habits that we want to create are difficult to maintain. And why are they difficult to maintain? Well, I'm sorry to break it to you, because they're not in alignment with your true authentic self. There are certain habits that we have that are very easy to do. Habits in the sense of they are conscious choices that we just keep on making every day to reinforce to ourselves that that's who we want to be. For some people, this might be to go to the gym every single day. For other people, this might be to eat healthy or have a certain diet that they like to stick to. And those are all choices because they create this habit out of this is who I want to be. They embody this certain frequency of their purest excitement and joy. And within that frequency, those are simply the actions that they take. It's just effortless, like that's just who I am. That's just what I do. And those are the habits that stick. And those are the habits that are conscious too, because it is a conscious choice and we just decide to go for that. This thinking mistake of thinking that we have to do things to create external change is an interesting one, because usually it works, right? In a sense, it works. We've learned that when we create this sort of idea and sort of commit to something and are like, okay, for the coming month, I'm gonna get up at 6 a.m. every single morning and that's gonna change my life. And then you do that and then you sort of maintain yourself and stick to it. It works, it creates certain results. But the reason why this might be so difficult to maintain over the long run is because it might not be in the exact excitement. It might not be in full alignment with who you truly are deep down. And that is because most habits that we're trying to build stem from a lack of trust in ourselves. It's like, I don't believe that I can just create this without getting up at 6 a.m. every morning. And therefore I'm going to force myself to get up at 6 a.m. And so most habits don't stick because we're trying to force them. And by trying to force them, we are reinforcing a belief that's not serving us, which is, for example, I don't trust myself to be able to get what I want and live a fulfilling life if I don't get up at 6 a.m. And now this goes for many other habits. This could be for going to the gym, for example, even though society might tell you how healthy this is. If you're not in a state where that feels like it's in alignment with your true, most authentic self, then you're going to be forcing this behavior because it's not you. And so now how then do we create healthy habits that are actually in alignment with ourselves? We can only do that from the state in which we are that is in alignment with ourselves. And what I mean by that is this quote that Albert Einstein said, you can't solve a problem from the same state that created it. It's about getting yourself into a state first. It's about first creating this internal shift, this internal leap into your most authentic being, embodying this frequency of pure excitement and sitting with this frequency and feeling it and embodying it. And from that place, making decisions. And you'll see that those decisions, whether they stick or not, doesn't matter. That's why I asked you the question in the beginning, why would you want to create a certain habit anyway? Most often it's us conditioning ourselves. That's what most habits are. It's like, I need to eat healthy so I can feel good about myself. I need to go to the gym every day so I can be fit and strong. I need to get up at 6 a.m. so I can feel disciplined and all of these things. When that's not what it's about. With this habit, we're just conditioning ourselves and we're teaching ourselves that we need to look for validation and love and all of these things in the external world, and that we can only show these things to ourselves if we act upon them externally. And in this video, what I'd like to make you aware of is that that's not where the shift happens. The shift happens internally. When you internally start to feel disciplined, the habit of being disciplined is just gonna arise because you'll know what to do in every moment, and you won't start blaming yourself when you don't do it because you know that you hold this frequency. Things get done anyway. Whether you get up at 6 a.m. or 10 a.m., if you're someone who embodies this frequency of pure excitement and joy, and you're acting every single moment on that which aligns with you most and is in alignment with your authentic self, results will start to show. And the reason why you feel like you want to build a habit is because you don't trust yourself to be able to do that. And that's just the truth. And to summarize this, it's very likely that you believe that you need external actions or efforts to create results in your life, instead of believe that internal shifts are enough for you to completely change your whole reality. Because the truth to this whole experience of life is that we are living in a video game. Everything is a pure reflection of our inside, what we believe to be true. That's it. That's what we're experiencing. We're living in a 360-degree hologram mirror of ourselves. Everything is getting reflected back to us. There's nothing that you can do in the external world, nothing that you can do physically that will change anything. It all happens in here. And so the reason why sometimes those habits work is because after a lot of physical labor, we start to feel like we're good enough. And that's when those results happen. When you don't need the habit for that, you can just start to feel good enough and realize that you are worthy because you exist. And with that, you'll get on this train of effortlessness. Things will start to flow because that's your true authentic path, right? If you just did every single moment what excited you in that moment, you'd be flowing through life. And the only reason that this is not happening is because you believe that you need to do other things or you need to do more. Like, no, this stream is not gonna work. I need to get up at 6 a.m. I need to eat healthy. I need to go to the gym twice a week. I need to do this and that. I need to journal. I need to meditate. Those habits are very difficult to build when you actually deep down believe that you don't need them or that you don't want them, because they're not in alignment with who you truly are. You can be committed, but that doesn't mean that you do something, the same thing every single day at the same time, because you can be committed to your own freedom. You can be disciplined, but that doesn't mean that you get up at 6 a.m. every single morning. It's got nothing to do with that. And so it's about finding this internal state within yourself of true authentic self-expression. And from there, ask yourself, hey, what actions would I take? And that's how you build habits. Because at some point when you're going to start doing that and you then look back on your imaginary past, you'll start to be able to connect the dots. And it's like, oh, I have been doing this every single day. And so now it's a habit. Well, good for you. That's awesome. I'd rather have that to be a conscious choice every single day. That's how you build a habit, by getting rid of the need to build certain habits and realizing why you feel like you want to build habits. And now I feel like in this video, I kind of taught you again how to get rid of habits because I hope this inspired you to stop forcing yourself and not to try harder, but to try softer. It's not about forcing yourself into boxes, because all you're then doing is reinforcing this belief that you are apparently not good enough and need external actions and efforts to get the results that you want. When all you need to do is accept that you're already worthy of all of these things, and there's nothing that you can physically do to change anything in your life. It all happens in here. It all happens there. That's where it starts. Stop worrying about your habits, do whatever excites you, and you'll see that your habits will follow. Hope that helped.